I'm Karen.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to talk about something everybody's interested in, which is purpose and identity. And we're talking about them together because we think they do go together. And what we mean by that is when you leave your job, many of us do suffer from a loss of identity and also a loss of purpose because we don't exactly know what we're doing for the next 30 years. Once we figure out what we want to do, which provides us purpose, we also find that we develop a new identity. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I think the question when you retire is, who are you now, right? You're not tethered to your job. You're not defined by your title or your profession or your career. And so the question is, who are you now? And you can call yourself by your hobby. Maybe that works. I am a ceramicist, right? But that is your purpose,
anything
right?
that gives you purpose, absolutely.
Right? So it doesn't, but I am that. What are you beyond the relationships you have?
Right. We
what
were
do you
very
do?
discouraged right after we retired when people asked what we did, and we said, I was. That was not a good sentence to start with.
No.
We wanted to say I am, but it took us a little while to figure out, okay, well, what am I?
And then we went through, I mean, you retain your role as a mother, sister, wife, cousin, whatever those things are. You retain that. That's okay. But I think what was missing for us was the doing part. What are we doing?
Right.
That is not so self-absorbed, right? I mean, if you're a ceramicist, you're making things, beautiful things for others, including yourself, to look at. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What is it that gives you a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment? And
Yes.
we found that difficult. We found it necessary to find, but difficult to find.
Yes, partly probably because we were very wrapped up in our jobs, and we didn't have too much time between our jobs and our families to figure out anything else. And now that huge critical part was gone, so we had the time to figure out something, but we weren't sure how to go about it. It took us a little while.
But initially we thought, well, we'll use the extension of our skills, right? To, we're not going to be lawyers anymore, but we know how to manage PR and strategy and crises and all those other things we had to do.
So surely people will be interested in using
Surely
us.
that will be our new purpose. We will just kind of pivot from what we did to something new, but nobody wanted to hear from us on that stuff. We were done. So we needed to find something new. And I think that is a challenge that our readers really do talk about a lot, of how do I find the thing? And it doesn't have to be the thing forever, but just at least the initial thing that will interest me and make me feel like I'm doing something worthwhile and fulfilling for me.
And still part of the world.
And still part of the world.
Exactly. It could be taking care of your grandchildren. It could be starting your own
marijuana business.
It could be learning, going back to school. It could be a lot of things. But figuring it out is not that easy, and it is important to try to do that in order to get both identity and purpose.
Right. It's not about, for us, it was not about filling our days. We had no trouble filling our days.
We just needed to fill our days with something that had
purpose. That had some direction to it. Yeah, I think that's right. So for us, once we found that, then the identity stuff started to fall into place, because that's who I am now. I mean, we got passionate about really going back to our roots and saying, well, we had to make our way in the world in the 70s when we started to work, right? That was kind of part of our almost purpose back then, was making sure that we got a seat at the table ultimately. And now we're doing the same, except at the other end of our careers, of saying we need a different kind of seat at a different kind of table.
But we want it. We're going to fight for it, yes.
So that's become our purpose, but it's not as all-consuming as our jobs were, in the sense but it's very consuming.
Yes, and we are very intentional about it. It's work, but it makes us happy, and we're enjoying ourselves very much.
And we get to be in this beautiful studio with somebody much younger than us, having a very lovely time talking to you folks. So there you go.